We're talking about a simple, everyday coin that could change your life forever. Imagine checking your spare change and finding a coin worth a jaw-dropping $6 million. Yup, I'm talking about the 1965 No Ellis Island, Washington quarter. You heard me, $6 million for a quarter. So, stick around because I'll break down why this coin is so valuable, how to spot one, and maybe even tell you a little story about how I almost threw away my retirement fund. Now, let's get into it. First things first, why is the 1965 No Ellis Island, Washington quarter worth $6 million? The short answer, a massive minting error. But here's the long answer, and it's a bit of a wild ride. In 1965, the U.S. Mint transitioned from silver coins to a copper-nickel blend. But a few quarters were accidentally struck on leftover silver planchets meant for the 1964 coins. And here's the kicker. Some of those silver planchets didn't feature the updated Ellis Island design on the reverse side. Instead, they show the older version. That little slip-up? Yeah, that's worth more than my first car. Now, how do you know if you've got one of these bad boys? Grab your quarter and check the date. 1965 is the magic number. Then weigh it. A normal copper-nickel quarter weighs 5.67 grams, but the silver ones weigh 6.25 grams. If your quarter is heavier than it should be, you could be looking at a lottery ticket disguised as loose change. Let me tell you about the time I thought I struck gold. A few years ago, I was rummaging through an old jar of coins I had saved up for laundry day. I found a 1965 quarter, and for a solid 5 minutes, I was convinced I was a millionaire. I even started mentally spending my imaginary fortune, new car, beachfront property, maybe even a pet llama. Then I weighed it, and guess what? 5.67 grams. Yup, just a regular quarter. Back to the laundry it went. But hey, you never know when luck will strike, right? Now, the current market value for one of these rare quarters is a staggering $6 million. That's like winning the lottery, but without the awkward family members suddenly asking to borrow money. The most recent sale of one of these coins set records at an auction. People will pay top dollar for these rare finds, so if you ever stumble upon one, don't just toss it into a vending machine for a bag of chips. So, what's the takeaway here? Always check your change. That little quarter you've had rattling around in your pocket for years could be worth more than a luxury yacht. If you're into coin hunting or just love learning about hidden treasures, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. I've got plenty more stories, tips, and strategies to help you turn pocket change into big bucks. And hey, if you ever find a 1965 No Ellis Island, Washington quarter, drop me a comment. Who knows, maybe you'll be the next person to cash in on $6 million. We're diving into the incredible story of the 1971 Ellis Island, Washington quarter. That's right, a quarter so rare and valuable it could buy you a house, a sports car, or, if you're anything like me, enough snacks to last a lifetime. So, what makes this humble coin so special? How do you know if you have one? And most importantly, what's the catch behind that $1 million price tag? Stick around because I'm breaking it all down for you in today's video. Alright, let's start with the basics. The 1971 Washington quarter wasn't actually supposed to feature Ellis Island at all. The standard design, as we all know, shows George Washington on the front and the classic eagle on the back. But somehow, through a mysterious minting mishap, a small batch of quarters with an Ellis Island design on the reverse made their way into circulation. Now, I know what you're thinking. How does something like this even happen? Well, that's the magic of minting errors. Sometimes, dies get mixed up, designs overlap, or prototype coins sneak out of the mint, and voila, a $1 million mistake is born. It's like hitting the lottery, but way cooler because you get to hold history in your hand. Let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was at a garage sale, the kind where you find old VHS tapes, mismatched Tupperware, and the occasional treasure. I came across a jar of coins labeled Grandpa's Change. It was mostly pennies and nickels, but I couldn't resist digging through it. I didn't find a $1 million quarter that day, but I did find a 1932 Washington quarter in decent shape. Not bad for a jar I paid $2 for. Now, imagine if one of those coins had been the legendary 1971 Ellis Island quarter. If you're anything like me, you'd probably scream, do a happy dance, and then call every collector you know. That's the dream, right? But here's the catch. Finding this coin is like finding a needle in a haystack. Experts believe fewer than 10 of these quarters exist, and most of them are likely sitting in someone's dusty collection or at the bottom of an old sock drawer. So, if you're checking your change right now and hoping for the best, keep your expectations realistic, but hey, you never know. Now, let's talk about value. The current market value of the 1971 D. Ellis Island quarter is estimated at a staggering $1 million. That's not just collector hype. It's backed by auction records and the sheer rarity of the coin. Serious collectors are willing to pay top dollar for it, and who can blame them? Owning a piece of history like this is like being part of an exclusive club, except instead of a jacket, you get bragging rights for life. But before you go cashing in your 401k to buy one, remember that condition matters. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being perfect. If your coin has scratches, dents, or signs of wear, its value could drop significantly. So, if you think you've got a winner, get it professionally graded. It might cost you a bit upfront, but trust me, it's worth it. Here's a pro tip. If you're hunting for rare coins like this, don't just stick to your pocket change. Check coin rolls from the bank, visit flea markets, and yes, even raid grandpa's change jar. You never know where a hidden treasure might be lurking. So, there you have it. The incredible story of the 1971 D. Ellis Island, Washington quarter. A coin that proves even the smallest things can pack $1 million punch. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever come across a rare coin or had an unexpected find in your change? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more tips, stories, and strategies to help you uncover coins worth serious money. Who knows? The next $1 million coin might be hiding in your wallet right now. We're talking about the 1979 D. Ellis Island, Washington quarter. A coin so rare and valuable that its current market value is a jaw-dropping $9 million. That's right, million. Let's dive in and see why this seemingly ordinary coin is worth more than my entire life savings. And probably yours too. So what's the deal with this $9 million quarter? First off, let's talk about its backstory. The 1979 D. Ellis Island, Washington quarter is a unique specimen because it wasn't supposed to exist in the first place. Picture this. The Denver Mint was cranking out quarters like usual, but somehow, a special design featuring Ellis Island snuck its way into production. It was meant to be a test design or maybe even a prototype. But as luck or chaos would have it, a few coins slipped through the cracks and ended up in circulation. Now, before you start tearing through your couch cushions, here's the kicker. Only a handful of these coins have ever been found. Some say fewer than 10 exist today. And that scarcity is what makes them so valuable. It's like finding a unicorn. If unicorns were made of metal and could fit in your pocket, you're probably wondering, how would I even know if I have one of these bad boys? Great question. Here's what to look for. The year 1979, of course, a small D mint mark on the front of the coin, near Washington's ponytail. And the piece de resistance, Ellis Island, depicted on the reverse side. You'll see Lady Liberty welcoming immigrants to New York instead of the usual eagle design. Now, let me tell you a quick story. A couple of years ago, I was helping my grandma sort through her jar of coins, the one every grandma seems to have. As we were sifting through nickels, dimes, and quarters, I joked, "Wouldn't it be wild if we found $1 million coin in here?" She laughed and said, "If we do, you're buying me a Cadillac." Spoiler alert. We didn't find the 1979 D. Ellis Island quarter, but we did find a wheat penny worth $20, and let me tell you, I felt like Indiana Jones. That experience taught me something important. You never know what treasures are hiding in plain sight. So, next time you're about to toss your change into a vending machine, take a closer look. Who knows? You might be holding onto your ticket to financial freedom. Now, let's talk market value. The last time one of these coins hit the auction block, it sold for an eye-watering $9 million. That's enough to make even the most seasoned coin collectors do a double take. Why so much? It's all about rarity, historical significance, and a little sprinkle of collector frenzy. These coins are like the Beyoncé of quarters, everyone wants one, but only a lucky few can actually claim it. So what's the takeaway here? Check your pockets, raid your coin jars, and don't sleep on your spare change. That little piece of metal you've been ignoring could be worth more than your car, your house, and your student loans combined. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare coins, valuable pennies, and other hidden treasures, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on the tips, tricks, and strategies I've got coming your way. And hey, if you do happen to find a 1979 D. Ellis Island quarter, remember who sent you down this rabbit hole. I'll gladly accept a thank you note or, a small finder's fee. We're diving into a coin that's worth more than your wildest dreams. The 1985 D. Ellis Island Washington quarter. Believe it or not, one of these little coins is currently valued at a jaw-dropping $6 million. Yes, you heard me right, $6 million. Stick around because I'm about to tell you exactly what makes this quarter so special, how you might find one, and what you should do if you strike gold, or in this case, silver. Trust me, you won't want to miss this. Alright, let's get into it. First things first, what's the deal with the 1985 D. Ellis Island Washington quarter? Most quarters from this time were minted for everyday use and are worth, well, 25 cents. But one very rare quarter from this batch turned out to be an error coin, and that's where things get interesting. The coin in question features a rare minting mistake. It was struck on a silver planchet instead of the typical copper-nickel one, which immediately makes it stand out. Silver coins were pretty much phased out by 1964, so this error is like finding a unicorn in your coin jar. But wait, there's more. Not only is the coin made of silver, but it also has an unusual double die error on the reverse side. That means if you squint or, use a magnifying glass, you'll notice some funky overlapping letters in the engraving. These errors make the coin one of a kind and incredibly valuable to collectors. Now, here's the kicker. Only one of these coins has been authenticated so far, which is why it's worth $6 million. Yes, $6 million for something that could have easily ended up in a vending machine. Crazy, right? Now, let me share a little story. A couple of years ago, I was cleaning out an old piggy bank from when I was a kid. I found this rusty-looking quarter and thought, I'll toss it in the coin jar. Little did I know, it turned out to be a rare 1968 double-die penny worth a couple of $100. Moral of the story? Check your change, people. You never know what kind of treasure is hiding right under your nose. So, how do you spot one of these $6 million quarters? Here's the game plan. Grab a magnifying glass or a loupe. You're looking for signs of a silver edge instead of the usual copper-nickel sandwich. Check the reverse for any doubling in the lettering. If you think you've got something special, have it authenticated by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll confirm whether you've hit the jackpot. So, there you have it. The story of the $6 million 1985 D. Ellis Island Washington quarter. Who knew a humble little coin could be worth more than a mansion, a sports car, or a lifetime supply of coffee? Now, here's your mission. Go raid your couch cushions, dig through your coin jar, and check your old wallets. Who knows? You might be sitting on a fortune. And if you find something good, let me know in the comments. I love hearing your coin success stories. Before you go, make sure to smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell. I've got tons more tips on coins worth big money, how to spot rare finds, and strategies to grow your collection. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Thanks for watching, and remember, your next big payday could be hiding in plain sight. We're diving into the fascinating story of the 1989 P. Ellis Island Washington quarter. Could you have one of these jackpot coins sitting in your piggy bank right now? Let's find out. Alright, so here's the scoop. The 1989 P. Ellis Island Washington quarter is one of the rarest coins out there, and it's got collectors absolutely losing their minds. Why? It all boils down to a crazy combination of history, rarity, and, honestly, a little bit of luck. Now, Ellis Island itself is a big deal, America's gateway for millions of immigrants. So when the U.S. Mint released this special quarter to commemorate Ellis Island, people thought it was just another cool coin. Little did they know, some of these quarters had a little extra flair. And by extra flair, I mean a minting error. That's right. This $8 million beauty isn't just rare because it's from 1989. It's rare because of a mistake. Some of these quarters were struck with a unique doubling error on the reverse side, right where the words Ellis Island and Gateway to America are. It's like the coin couldn't decide where to put the letters, so it just doubled up. This little oopsie from the mint made collectors go bananas. Now, here's where it gets funny. A couple of years ago, I was cleaning out my junk drawer. You know, the one with old batteries, random keys, and a charger from a flip phone, and I came across a shiny 1989 quarter. I got so excited because I thought I'd hit the jackpot. I grabbed a magnifying glass, squinted at it for a solid 10 minutes, and guess what? No doubling error. Just a regular quarter. Womp womp. But hey, that's what makes these coins so special. Finding one is like winning the lottery. Out of the millions of quarters minted in 1989, only a handful of these error coins exist, which is why the current market value is an eye-popping $8 million. Yes, someone actually paid that much for one of these. Imagine the bidding war that must have gone down. So what's the takeaway here? Always check your pocket change. That little piece of metal in your hand could be worth more than your car, your house, or even your student loans. And who doesn't want to make life-changing money from a quarter? Before you go hunting through your coin jar, let me leave you with this. Subscribe to this channel for more coin collecting tips, stories, and strategies to turn your spare change into serious cash. Who knows? The next time you find a shiny little quarter, it might just be worth millions. We're diving into the fascinating story of the 1991 Ellis Island, Washington quarter. A coin that could literally make you a millionaire. Yep, you heard that right, a quarter. So, grab your magnifying glass and let's get cracking because this little coin might just change your life. Alright, let's set the scene. The year is 1991. Grunge music is taking over, slap bracelets are all the rage, and someone at the Philadelphia Mint is striking quarters that would later become legendary. The 1991 Ellis Island quarter was minted as part of the U.S. Mint's commemorative coin series, celebrating the rich history of Ellis Island, a gateway for millions of immigrants chasing the American dream. Now, here's the kicker. While most of these coins are worth, well, 25 cents, there's one in particular that recently turned the coin world upside down. At auction, this beauty fetched a jaw-dropping $1 million. That's a lot of coffee, folks. What makes it so special? Glad you asked. This particular quarter is in pristine condition, graded as MS68 by professional coin graders. That basically means it looks like it just rolled out of the mint yesterday, without a single scratch, dent, or fingerprint. Think of it like a coin going to the Oscars in its finest tuxedo, flawless. Combine that with its historical significance and boom, you've got yourself a seven-figure payday. But here's the funny part. Imagine how easy it is to overlook a coin like this. I mean, who really looks at their change? I'll admit I didn't used to. Quick story. I once used a silver dime from the 1940s to pay for parking. A week later, I found out it was worth $50. I cried. A lot. Lesson learned. Check your coins, people. Now, back to the Ellis Island quarter. Even if your 1991 isn't in perfect condition, it could still be worth more than face value. Circulated versions in good condition often sell for $5 to $20, which is still a nice profit margin. The key is to look for ones with sharp details, minimal wear, and that shiny, uncirculated glow. If you're lucky enough to find one in mint state condition, well, you know the story. $1 Million Payday. By the way, a quick pro tip. Invest in a decent magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. It's a game changer for spotting those tiny details, like mint marks and signs of wear. Plus, you'll feel like Sherlock Holmes every time you pick it up. Alright folks, let's wrap this up. The 1991 Ellis Island, Washington quarter is proof that sometimes the most valuable treasures are hiding in plain sight. So, the next time you're fishing coins out of your pocket, take a closer look. That humble little quarter could be your ticket to financial freedom. And hey, if you found this video helpful or you just enjoyed hearing me ramble about coins, hit that subscribe button. I'm here every week, sharing tips, stories, and strategies to help you turn pocket change into serious cash. Don't forget to like this video and drop a comment below. Who knows, maybe your story will be the next one we feature. We're talking about the 1994 Ellis Island, Washington quarter dollar, a little coin with a big story and an even bigger price tag. And hey, if you're like me and have spent way too much time wishing your pocket change was worth more than its face value, this video is for you. Grab your coin jars, your magnifying glasses, and maybe even a cup of coffee because you're going to want to hear this one. Alright, so let's get into it. The 1994 P. Ellis Island Washington quarter dollar isn't just your ordinary quarter. First off, it's a bit of a unicorn in the coin world. Minted in Philadelphia in 1994, this quarter was part of a special release to honor Ellis Island, you know, the historic gateway where millions of immigrants first set foot in America. But here's the kicker. While most of these coins are floating around worth, well, a quarter, there's one that's got collectors buzzing, and for good reason. This particular quarter is in pristine condition, graded MS-68 by the experts, which is basically the coin equivalent of a celebrity walking the red carpet. It's flawless. No scratches, no smudges, nothing. It's the Brad Pitt of quarters. So, why is it worth $4 million? A few reasons. First, rarity. Coins in this condition are basically unheard of. Then there's the historical significance. People love Ellis Island, and they love the story behind this coin. Combine those things with the insane demand from collectors, and boom, you've got yourself a multi-million-dollar piece of metal. Now, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was at a garage sale. One of those ones where everything's 50 cents, and the owner just wants you to take their stuff so they don't have to haul it to Goodwill. I spotted a jar of coins on a table and decided, why not? I bought the whole jar for $5. Later that night, I went through it coin by coin just for fun. And guess what? I didn't find anything worth $4 million, but I did find a 1964 silver quarter, which was worth about $15 at the time. It's no fortune, but hey, I turned $5 into 15. Moral of the story, you never know what treasure is hiding in plain sight. But back to the 1994 P. Ellis Island quarter. The chances of finding one in your pocket change are slim, but not impossible. And even if you don't find the big one, looking through your coins is still a blast. Who knows? You might stumble across a rare error coin or an old silver quarter that's worth a pretty penny. Alright friends, that's the scoop on the 1994 P. Ellis Island Washington quarter dollar. A coin that proves even the smallest things can have huge value. If the story doesn't make you want to dump out your piggy bank and start searching, I don't know what will. And hey, if you're into coins, collectibles, or just love hearing stories about turning spare change into big bucks, hit that subscribe button and join our little treasure hunting community. I've got more tips, tricks, and stories coming your way, and who knows, the next video might just help you uncover your $1 million coin. Thanks for watching, and remember, every coin has a story, and some stories are worth a whole lot more than 25 cents. We're diving into why it's worth so much, how you can tell if you have one, and how I almost missed out on a potential gold mine. So grab your coin jars because this is one you don't want to miss. Alright, let's break it down. The 1995 P. Ellis Island Washington quarter wasn't exactly meant to be special. It was just another commemorative design released to celebrate Ellis Island, the gateway to America. You've probably seen it, Lady Liberty proudly standing in front of the famous Ellis Island building. But what makes this quarter legendary is a very specific minting error. Yup, a tiny mistake from the Philadelphia Mint has made this coin worth more than most people's houses. Now, here's the kicker. This error isn't something obvious like a missing date or a double strike. It's all about the details in Lady Liberty's crown and robe. On the rare versions of this coin, the engraving is super sharp, almost 3D-like. It's as if Lady Liberty had a glow-up and no one told the rest of us. Experts call this the ultra-high relief variety, and collectors go bananas for it. How bananas, you ask? Well, the last time one of these bad boys showed up at auction, it sold for, you guessed it, $5 million. $5 million. Imagine finding one of these in your car's cup holder. That's not a quarter. That's a life-changing jackpot. Now, let me tell you a quick story. Last year, I was cleaning out my garage. You know, that once-a-year ritual where you rediscover your high school trophies and wonder why you kept them. Anyway, I stumbled upon an old jar of coins I had totally forgotten about. I started flipping through it for fun, like, ooh, maybe there's a wheat penny in here. And guess what? There it was, a 1995 P. Washington quarter with Ellis Island. I got so excited, I started Googling how to check for the error. Spoiler alert, mine was not the ultra-high relief version. But for a few glorious minutes, I thought I was about to become a millionaire. My heart was racing faster than when my dog eats something he's not supposed to. So, how do you know if you've struck gold? First, Check the date, 1995, obviously, and make sure there's a P mint mark. Then, take a closer look at Lady Liberty. If the details on her crown and robe look extra crisp, it might be time to get that coin professionally graded. And hey, even if it's not the $5 million version, these quarters in decent condition can still fetch anywhere from $20 to $500. Not too shabby for a coin that's been rattling around in someone's pocket. Alright, my fellow coin enthusiasts, that's the lowdown on the 1995 P. Ellis Island, Washington quarter. Imagine how many people have spent one of these without realizing they were giving away a literal fortune. Don't let that be you. Go check your pockets, your couch cushions, and that weird drawer in your kitchen we all have, the one filled with batteries, tape, and random coins. Before you head off to dig through your change, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications bell. I've got tons more videos coming your way on rare coins, hidden treasures, and how you can turn spare change into serious cash. Plus, I'll even share more of my embarrassing almost millionaire moments. We're talking about one of those coins, the 1996 P. Ellis Island, Washington quarter dollar. A coin that has a current market value of $6 million. Yep, you heard that right, $6 million bucks. Stick around as we dive into what makes this coin so special, why it's so valuable, and how you can spot one in your own collection. Let's start with the basics. In 1996, the U.S. Mint released the Ellis Island Quarter as part of the 50-state quarters program. This was a huge deal because, if you remember, this program was all about celebrating each state with a unique design on the back of the quarter. Ellis Island, of course, represents New Jersey, where millions of immigrants passed through when arriving in the U.S. in the early 20th century. Now, the 1996 P quarter might look like your average quarter, right? But here's where it gets interesting. You see, there were some production errors on a small number of these quarters that have turned them into literal gold mines. Specifically, some of these coins have a strange anomaly that's caused their value to skyrocket. Relatable story. Let me tell you a little story. A few years ago, I was going through some old coin rolls I picked up at the bank. The kind of thing you do when you're too lazy to go to the gym and need something to keep your hands busy. I was looking for silver, but then I found this old quarter. It was a 1996 P. I thought, meh, just another quarter. But I almost tossed it aside. Until I did a little research and realized that there's actually a very rare error coin where a tiny portion of the design is misaligned. I kid you not, if you find one of those, it could be worth millions. I almost kicked myself for not checking it more carefully. Now, back to the 1996 P. Ellis Island quarter. Here's where it gets good. This coin's rarity comes from its minting mistake. Some of these quarters have a design misalignment that makes them way rarer than the standard version. And when I say way rarer, I mean they could be worth up to $6 million on the right market. But wait, hold up, before you run off and start checking every 1996 P quarter you have, let's talk about how to actually spot these valuable coins. First, you'll need to check for the design misalignment. If you see a misprinted coin with a faded image or one that's just off-center, you could have yourself a nice little fortune. If you find one of these, make sure you don't just toss it in your change jar like I almost did. This could be a life changer. It's a 1996 P coin, meaning it has a P mint mark for the Philadelphia Mint. You won't find this error in a D or S mint mark. Look closely for a misaligned design or poor engraving. It'll typically look a bit off-center or a little blurry in certain places. Like any collectible, the condition matters. A coin in pristine condition will fetch more than one that's a little worn down. But still, even a worn error coin can be worth quite a bit more than a regular quarter. So, if you're lucky enough to find a 1996 P. Ellis Island, Washington quarter with that little production error, you might just be looking at a coin worth $6 million bucks. And, hey, if you haven't checked your quarters in a while, now's the time. I know I'll be double-checking my old jars after learning all this. But hey, if you want to keep up with tips on coins that are worth way more than their face value, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I've got a ton more coin tips, hidden treasures, and funny stories to share with you. So don't miss out. You might just find the next big one in your spare change. I'm going to tell you all about the legendary 1998 P. Ellis Island, Washington quarter. We're talking rarity, value, and how one little quarter could turn you into a literal millionaire. Oh, and I'll even share a story about a time I almost threw away a coin that could have bought me a car. You won't want to miss this. Alright, grab your coffee, your magnifying glass, and maybe your jar of coins. You're going to want to check your stash after this. Let's start with the basics. The 1998 P. Ellis Island, Washington quarter. This baby was part of the U.S. Mint's statehood quarter program. Now, don't confuse it with the standard 1998 Washington quarter. This one specifically features Ellis Island, a landmark rich in history, on the reverse. Now here's where it gets juicy. Out of the millions minted, only a teeny-tiny fraction had a super rare minting error. And guess what? That's what makes these coins worth big bucks. How big, you ask? Well, the current market value of a pristine example is a whopping $8 million. Yeah, you could basically buy a private island or maybe even the Statue of Liberty itself with that kind of cash. What's the error, though? Glad you asked. The 1998 P. Ellis Island quarter has a double die error. This means the design on the coin was struck twice by the minting press, but it's slightly off-center, creating a doubling effect. It's like a blurry vision of the Statue of Liberty. You know, what you'd see after a late-night Netflix binge. Here's the kicker. Not all doubling is valuable. You've got to look closely for the distinct doubling on the words Ellis Island and Gateway to America. That's the telltale sign you've got the golden or, well, silver ticket. Okay, funny story time. A few years ago, I was helping my grandma clean out her attic. We found this old coin jar, rusty, covered in dust, the whole deal. As a coin enthusiast, I naturally started digging through it. I came across a shiny quarter with Ellis Island on the back. My heart skipped a beat. Could it be? The 1998 P. Ellis Island quarter. I grabbed my magnifying glass like I was some sort of detective. I even Googled the doubling error, holding my phone in one hand and the coin in the other. Turns out, nope, it was just a regular old quarter. But for a solid 10 minutes, I thought I was rich enough to retire on a yacht. My grandma laughed so hard she almost fell out of her rocking chair. Now, let's talk about how to spot the real deal. First, grab a magnifying glass or, better yet, a jeweler's loupe. You'll want to focus on the text and design details. If you spot doubling, don't jump to conclusions just yet. Compare it with pictures of the genuine error coin online. Condition matters too. A coin graded in MS68 condition or higher, that's mint state for you newbies, is what collectors are drooling over. If your coin looks like it's been through a blender, sorry, but it's probably not fetching millions. You're probably wondering, where do I even sell something like this? Easy. Auctions are the way to go. Heritage auctions, Stax Bowers, and even eBay are solid places to start. But if you think you've got the coin, don't settle for less. Get it professionally graded by a company like PCGS or NGC. Alright, let's recap. The 1998 P. Ellis Island, Washington quarter could be worth up to $8 million if it has the rare doubling error and is in top-notch condition. So, check your change, folks. Who knows? That quarter sitting at the bottom of your car's cup holder could be your golden ticket. And hey, before you go diving into your couch cushions, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I've got tons more tips on rare coins, valuable finds, and how you can turn pocket change into a small fortune. Plus, if you've got a coin story of your own, drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear it. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Go check your coins, and I'll see you in the next video. Who knows? Maybe next time we'll be talking about your $1 million find. Hit subscribe, like this video if you learned something new, and don't forget to share it with a friend. Who knows? You might be helping them find their own hidden treasure.